This is Kendrick Lamar's last tour. Crazy hypothesis, but hear me out. If you watch, I want to present evidence that this may be true based on previous music, interviews, live performances, and honestly with what God has shown me. So disclaimer, I'm a Christian and Kendrick Lamar is one of the greatest modern day prophets of God. If you're skeptical of this, then you truly don't know Kendrick like you think you do. Let's hop into it. Let's start with what we know. Kendrick Lamar is a storyteller, but more specifically, he talks about his personal life on record for us to understand and relate to. And it's evident that he's Christian, or at the very least, a God-fearing man.
Inquisitive, on life after this world, inquisitive on God and Jesus himself, always trying to figure out and just become a better person.
If you didn't know this, then I urge you to listen to Dissect Podcast by Cole Cushman. Then come back to this video. Cole gives a very thorough analysis of Kendrick's story with interviews, experts, sample and lyric explanations, and just spoon feeds understanding Kendrick's music. And that's what I'm basing that off of, plus what I've listened to in his music. The thing is, Cole covers a lot, but there's very little info on Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. So I thought, why not give my take on what I believe that album is truly about. I believe Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers is about God showing Kendrick the purpose of his life, him going through everything they went through in the past, him actually getting healed, and finally moving on to the divine plan that God has for him. Sounds a little crazy, but hear me out. Let me take you to Bible school. So John 1:1 says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." Since Kendrick knows this to be true, he tells the truth of God through his music. However, just because you know this doesn't mean you know everything, and it doesn't mean that you're completely free from sin. Like, you need to completely surrender every day. And his last album shows him tackling these topics and ideologies for the first time, learning about them, and building his relationship with God. However, this fourth album, he finally accepts that he personally needs to rely on God and get help. In all his music, we always think about, when I think about Kendrick's old music, I think about fear of God, fear of God, fear of God. But here's the thing, Proverbs 22:4 says, "The reward for humility and the fear of God is riches and honor and life." So here's the thing, this final album he does, he shows humility. He shows humility to the world by putting his sins on the table to confess to the therapist. That could be a double meaning for a real therapist or God being the therapist. I think Mr. Morale, Kendrick, and the Big Steppers, God. So just pause and think about this. Okay, when you go to therapy, you speak out your feelings and your problems to an expert, and they provide you the tools that you need to actually heal. What is that tool for Kendrick and his relationship with God? Jesus Christ. If you don't believe me, if you still feel skeptical and be like, yada, 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 here's a clip that Kendrick says himself while on tour live that we have him talking about the crown he's been wearing.
I wear this as a representation so you'll never forget one of the greatest prophets that ever walked the earth. They judge you, they judge Christ. We're going to continue to try our best to walk in his image.
Now that we established what Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers was about, let's talk about the live tour he's been doing. First, I need you to understand that the purpose of a live show is, for an artist, your job is to entertain and please the audience. And we share a special moment where our experiences are connected together through the music. That being said, K-Dot is not just an entertainer or an artist, he's a prophet of God. So not only is he connecting to us, this man is preaching. He's absorbing all our negativities and sometimes loses that fight while he has to rely on God even more after these encounters. And you can take all this with a grain of salt, but let's look at the songs for this tour. I've listed the set list from the songs from this tour on a Spotify playlist so you can just re-listen to. And out of respect for him, I don't want to show much footage of the tour. If you've seen it online or you went to the show, you could feel all that energy, and especially when you're deep in your faith, even more so. That being said, I realized something. For 17 years, he's done this over and over and over again. And I feel like it's final because of the song choices and the audio in the background that he uses. It gives context of what's happening to him during the show. For those that weren't able to attend the shows, or for those that forgot how the show went, Mr. Morale album songs, he purposely put tracks from his previous discography between them, which is really weird because it evokes similar emotions to the situations he was talking about in the album. And between backseat freestyle, you hear a voice saying, "You once again let your ego get the best of you. Need I remind you how this went before?" And then after that, Humble came on. And I say this because he's reminiscing on his past experiences in time. And sometimes it takes over him to where he has to keep himself in check. You know, I think this idea is reinforced when you hear the voice again say, "I can't blame you for being a product of your own environment, but it's up to you to maneuver through it at this point." So it's basically saying, as you reminisce, handle these situations the right way. It's so interesting when you think about the context of the album, because as you go to therapy and you get your new tools and you think about your past experiences, you think about how you could have handled them differently, you know? And this goes on for a while, but as certain song came on, I personally physically started to get sick, and spiritually I started to feel nervous. For example, for songs like Backseat Freestyle, Mad City, Swimming Pool, B Don't Kill My Vibe, and this emotion peaked at Lust. The symbolism used for the choreography and visuals were so blatant in this. Lust literally caused goosebumps and made me nervous. And then you hear the voice again say, "Oh, you did this to yourself again. Seems you forgot who you are. Do you need a reminder before we continue?" And if you don't see how he's literally re-experiencing these past emotions, and I don't know what to tell you. I could go on, but to sum it up, he gets overwhelmed with that energy, and he has to send out every show. And you could feel it be sent out when you hear the song All Right Bomb. It's like, I don't know, all that energy built up just got sent away. And think about how he does this every show, and then him have to detox with smoke, and then Mirror plays saying, "Oh, he can't keep putting himself through this anymore." It's just too apparent. And now that we know, you know, the way the story ends at the end of this album, him and God is good. He found Jesus, and now he can move on to his divine purpose. And we even know what that divine purpose is. He's shown it plenty of times. It's PG Lang. PG Lang is said to be a service to creators and projects that selflessly speak with and for the shared experiences that connect us all. I was going to explain this, but honestly, if you don't understand, then I'll pray for you. It's interesting. It's interesting because the official site says that only a few contemporary creators have figured out how to speak this evolving language of this generation without fading into the white noise or pre-assigned market share. PG Lang is designed to be artist friendly and above all else embrace both quality and unconventional concepts. This ethos will be applied to an array of creators who will join PG Lang, including authors, film and television directors, fine arts, producers, musicians, blah, blah, blah. You've all heard this S before. That's their mission statement. You feel me? And I'll say this. I've had a chance to interact with some of the people working for PG Lang when they gave me the free tickets to K-Dot show. The video will be in the description. And all I can say is this. Each one of them that I interacted with, they've all had that it aura around them. That's the best way to describe it. But anyway, thanks for watching. If you want more music content, check out my old videos. Send me artists you like, or if you even have music, and if it's good, I would love to shed light on you for the world to see. I'm Malik with Really Rockin' Reviews, and I'll see you next time.